Welcome to everyone. Today our guest is MMA fighter Saidyokub Kakharamonov. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. In general, how would you describe your fighting style? When did you start training MMA? What are your trademarks? Can you say some general stuff, and then we are going to go question by question. And thank you for accepting the interview invitation.
First off, thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it. Well, my fighting, you asked me, what was your question? I forgot.
How would you in general describe your fighting style? I mean, your fighting style, your achievements, something in general about yourself.
Well, my fighting style, I would say just mixed martial arts. I'm comfortable standing up, on the ground, whatever, And then when it comes to the gym, I live in California, Irvine, California. I train in Team Oyama. So, yeah.
Yeah. Which was your first martial art?
My first time, first mixed martial arts. I mean, the first martial arts I did was Sambo. I started with Sambo in Uzbekistan. That's where everything started.
How old were you when you first started training?
Like 8 years old.
8 years. That's awesome. Right now, who are your coaches and sparring partners?
Well, at the moment, I have a boxing coach. His name is Ricky Ledesma. He's out of Illinois. But my main head coach is Colin Oyama. He's out of Irvine, California. That's where I train at in his gym. And then sparring partners, I have many sparring partners. I cannot really name every single one of them. If I do that, it'd be if I left somebody, they might get mad at me. So I have a lot of good guys, Team Oyama. So.
All right, fair enough. Which is your favorite strike?
My favorite strike? Strike hard, strike first. Cobra Kai.
Yeah. And the favorite submission, I guess, everyone that submits the opponent, right?
Yeah.
What can you say about your first amateur MMA fight?
Oh, it was tough. It was a tough one. It was I fought against a really good, experienced guy. At the time, I had only 2-3 months of training, and I fought a guy with a record of 1-3. I mean, no, he was a 3-1 or 3-2. It was a very tough fight. I fought at 145 pounds. It won a decision. I mean, I won a decision. It was a good fight. That was one of my best performances, I would say.
Who was the toughest amateur opponent for you?
Like I just said, my first one, the guy was pretty tough for me, and then we still got the job done.
What is the greatest difference in fighting 145 and 135?
What's the difference?
Yes.
The difference is obviously 145 and 135, and the weight cut, But I fought 145 when I was amateur, but once I turned pro, I always fought 135 and 140, like one time catch weight. But difference is the cutting weight,
What can you say about your first professional fight? Was it a big difference between amateur and pro? How did you feel heading into your first professional fight?
I mean, it was difference was the money. I mean, obviously I got paid to fight, and then I had good pictures. It was more promotion was good one. So difference was honestly to me it wasn't really a difference. It was just another day.
Yeah, just another day in the office, I guess.
Yes.
How did you finish John Deere via the arch choke? How did you establish the arch choke? It was your third fight, I believe.
Oh, he just gave up the position. I took him. We got into I think scramble or some kind of a scramble, and then he gave up the position. He actually had a good armbar on me. I was almost tapped, but he actually hurt my arm, but I didn't tap. I was close though, but I ended up choking him out.
According to your thoughts, what is the best way to evade an armbar?
What was the question, sir?
According to your thoughts, what is the best way to evade armbar, not to let opponent finish you via armbar?
Oh, make sure you stay tight and calm, and then make sure you have a good grip. And I mean, guys usually know how to defend it. Everybody has different ways. It depends how your jiu-jitsu. Depends how your coach taught you. Everybody has different ways. I mean, something works for me, doesn't work for others.
How did you outwork Jordan Downey? You fought like you won via decision, but was it a hard one or?
Actually, that was my first time going for a decision. That was a hard fight for me too, because it was first time I fought 3 rounds, and then he was at 140. He was a bigger guy. He was a tough dude. Honestly, I hit him so many times. I actually, gave him a cut. I cut his face off, but he was still coming back. Actually in the third round, he was telling me, he was yelling at me, "You better kill me, boy." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll kill you then." But I still won 30-25, so it was hard to finish him. He was a tough guy.
Part at PFL tournament. Was it experience good for you? How did you feel? I mean, PFL is a very serious promotion.
I fought at PFL after training only. I started my MMA career at 2017, and I fought at PFL in 2018. So it was only, I had 8 fights, including 3 amateur and 5 pro fights within 1 year. So it was a fast track. But PFL I was still young. I felt like now I look back, I think I fought like dumb. I was too young, and then I think it was just it was no pressure, but I just fought too dumb. I was too young and too dumb.
But then you bounced back with a victory over Georgi Kudukashvili. So what can you in general say? Like you lost, and then how did you bounce back with the win? Was it psychologically hard for you?
Oh no, I mean I know I lost fair and square. I mean I still think that fight was. I still think I did a good fight, but when I fought him, I mean I knew I was gonna beat him. He was not on my level, so psychologically, I'm still the same. Win or lose, nothing changes.
What can you say about your fight with Askar? Actually, his brother was my guest. I mean, Motes is pretty much a friendly guy, and he's been my guest many times. But many people praise Askar. When I discussed some fighters, they're saying that he is a very, very hard fighter to beat, that his stamina is good. What can you say about the fight?
He's a liar, and then he's a scammer. He's not a good fighter. I don't know who told you that. If you look at his record, I mean, he fought nobodies. Like, look who he fought. He fought guys who has like 3-4, 1-8. He fought a bunch of bums just like himself. And then he was 10-0, and until he saw me, you know what I mean? And then I finished him. And then a lot of people thought it was an accident. No, it wasn't an accident. If the fight went longer, I will kill him second round, third round. I don't think he's a good fighter.
How did you defeat Tyson Lynn in your last fight?
You see what Tyson Lynn, this guy was a good fighter. Like, you know what I mean? He was a tough guy. He was tall, lanky, awkward. He was a tough fighter, but how do I defeat him? I mean, just had to pressure him. When you fight tall guys, you gotta pressure him. I did that, and then I knew his boxing. I mean, his striking was not good. He had only, he was another like one-dimensional fighter. He has like his jiu-jitsu guy, and then he has like one kick, and he uses his length to keep the guys from the distance. But I just had to close the distance and just kill him.
How does one day in your life look like?
Oh, I wake up, I get my coffee, and I go to training. I come back, I eat breakfast or lunch, and then I, shower and relax a little bit, and then go back to training again, and then come back, eat, sleep, and then repeat. Eating, sleeping, training.
Every single day.
Every single day for the past 5 years.
That's awesome, man. Really much awesome. Do you have a favorite animal?
Favorite animal? I would say, man, I have a few. I like horse. I have my own horse. I like dogs. I like those French bulldogs. I mean, when I have money, I'm gonna buy one. They're like They're like 5,000. They're like 5-10,000. I want to buy one in future.
Great. Do you have a favorite quote?
The one who doesn't fall will never stand up.
Excellent. That's also my favorite quote. Really
It's
much.
by Fedor Emelianenko. He said it.
Yeah, it's Fedor's quote. What are your future plans right now? I mean, you're riding a 2-fight winning skid, and you probably plan to keep the ball rolling. Do you have some plans for other promotions, or for now it's like nothing happening? Is something happening at the moment, or you just plan to train to see what's gonna happen next?
Oh, I mean, we're cooking some stuff. I can't really talk about it, but something is cooking.
That's awesome. So you plan to keep the ball rolling and to see how it goes, right?
Oh yeah, I train every day. You have to be ready every day, train every day. Keep the momentum going. Just one win. These wins don't mean nothing to me. They're already in the past. So I'm looking forward for future, and then keep winning fights and keep training even harder, run even faster, and then eat even cleaner.
Like to add something to the interview, would you maybe like to give a shout to someone, to shout out someone, to give regards to someone?
Oh yeah, I want to shout out for my team, my managers. Everybody who helped me out, still helping me out, who has my back. They all know who they are. Shout out to them, and then shout out to you for giving me this interview.
Thank you so much for this. I will publish it tomorrow morning. I will send you a link, okay?
Thank you. Have a good night.